for the award ceremony, but we have got a talented man from San Diego, California. That already means he's cool. I mean, this guy is super cool. His name is Mark Goffeney. He began playing the guitar when he was 9 years old, and something apparently a lot of people said, what are you going to do, what? And you'll see what we mean here in a second. But through long hours and years of perseverance, he gained international recognition as a bass guitarist throughout the world. He's had much fanfare throughout Europe and tours in the United States. His storytelling, comedy, and talent have entertained college campuses and special events, just like the other night, and of course the one we're having tonight. Just the night before, last couple of nights ago, he was the featured performer at the International Disability Information Technology Conference. It's my pleasure and your pleasure to welcome Mark Goffeney.
How you guys doing tonight? Ready to have a good time? In constant sorrow all through his day, I am a man of constant sorrow. I seen trouble all my days. I bid farewell to old Kentucky, the place where I was born and raised, the place where he was born and raised. For 6 long years I've been in trouble, no pleasure here on earth I found. For in this world I'm bound to ramble, got no friends to help him down. He got no friends to help him down. It's fare thee well, my old true lover, never expect to see you again. For I'm bound to ride, gonna ride that northern railroad. Perhaps I'll die upon this train. Perhaps you'll die upon this train. You can bury me in some near valley for many years where I may live. But then you will learn to love another while I'm sleeping in my grave, while he is sleeping in his grave. All right, thank you. How you guys doing? Yes. Nice to see you. Nice to see you. So that's the only song I know. I'm going to play it for the next 25 minutes. You guys want to hear it again? I'm kidding. I got one more I'm going to play for you guys before I start talking. Is it okay if I tell you a little bit about my story? I was sitting out here watching the video. What a fantastic production. Please give it up. It sounds like Rauch is doing a lot of good for a lot of young folks. I had a lot of help from an organization that's very similar when I was growing up, and I just want to say this right out the gate. I was going to save it later and try to make you all cry at the end. But you know, I had a lot of assistive technology offered through me throughout my school. I've lived a very successful life. I've gone to college. I've done a lot of things. But when I look back at the things people have given me, the opportunity to be able to do things for myself is the best thing that you can do for anybody. So can we get an amen or something to that? Yes. You know, if I get to sounding real good, it's okay to clap. It's not going to offend me like I think you guys are showing off. Look what we can do. We can clap. It's kind of funny. You guys think you're so cool with your fancy hands. Yes. Another turning point, a fork stuck in the road. Time grabs you by the wrist, directs you where to go. Make the best of this test and don't ask why. It's not a question, but a lesson learned in time. Something unpredictable, in the end it's right. Hope you had the time of your life. Take those photographs and still frames in your mind. Hang them on a shelf in good health and good times. Tattoos of memories and dead skin on track. For what it's worth, it was worth all the while. Something unpredictable, in the end it's right. Hope you had the time of your life. You're gonna have a good time tonight, aren't we? Come on, one more time. Make some noise, you guys. You haven't had enough to drink yet, have you? I'm gonna tell you a little story. I was performing out in Los Angeles, actually Santa Monica. Anybody been out to the West Coast before? Come on, raise your hands. Yeah, all right. I didn't expect y'all to clap because you've been out there, right? So I'm playing my guitar, and this guy comes walking up to me, this Hollywood doofus. He's got, long hair, and he's right in the middle of my song. He goes, dude, which, by the way, we don't all speak that way on the West Coast, but this guy did, dude, I don't think you're really playing that guitar with your toes, man. I said, really? He goes, I've been playing guitar for 20 years. I was in a band that opened up for the band that opened up for Guns N' Roses. Can I touch you? Wow, that's amazing. Yeah, anyway, that's what I said, yeah. So anyway, so he goes, I think you got some kind of like a CD player in your CD or in your guitar, and that's why you're able to, you're faking it. I said, you think I have a CD player in my guitar? It's something, I'm predicting 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 something, I'm predicting. And yeah, that's fun. It's true. It really happened. It really happened that way. Now, in case you haven't had a lot of experience with people with disabilities, I want to first of all tell you that I was born this way. And today, you may have never actually before today had an encounter with a person that was born with this condition. It's this humongous big nose. I'm very comfortable with it. Go ahead and take a good look. No. In addition to that, I was also born without arms. And in I don't like saying it, 73, when I started kindergarten, they still had special schools only, and kids with disabilities were not really allowed to be included with the other guys. So the campus of the special school was on the same grounds as what they called, and I know it's not okay today, but the normal school. So me and my little buddy decided one day we're going to break out of the Stalag at recess time. We're going to go hang out with the cool kids on the other side of the fence. This is a true story. So I found a gap in the fence, and my buddy, Robert was his name. We've since been friends on Facebook, by the way. We made our infamous break, and we figured if we can just get to the group of kids by the swings where they're all gathered around, no one's going to notice us. So my buddy with no legs and I, we made it right out there to the middle of the playground, and I don't know how to this day, but we got caught. They found us. We got busted. They brought us back to the handicap school, and so I told the story to my mom, and she got infuriated, and she's from England, so she checked into some of the laws that had been passed to give children with disabilities the opportunity to get the best education they can get. So she took on the superintendent of schools in Orange County, California, and when I say she took on the superintendent, I don't mean with advocacy and letter writing. She beat the crap out of him. I saw it. It was beautiful. But I did get to start school, and the newspapers were just awesome. It was armless boy goes to school with normal children. But when I started school, yeah, exactly. The teachers were really, what are we going to do with this guy? How's he going to write? How's he going to do stuff? Well, I'd kind of figured all this stuff out for myself, and the students really didn't have a problem with it. All they wanted to know is, hey, man, can you play tetherball? And children were very easily accepting when I started public school, and so I really was the first guy in the Los Angeles, Southern California area to go to public school with the normal kids. So anyway, thought I'd share that story with you, and it was. And speaking of accommodations, I was given accommodations, and in watching the video right here, a lot of times it just takes a little bit of a reasonable accommodation is something that we can do that will enable a person with a disability to be as independent as we can. And like anybody, if you ask a person if they need help, and they say no, it's not necessarily because we want to just show that we can do it ourselves, but sometimes there's a system and a process to the way that we do things. And so if somebody bites your head off, well, they're just being rude. It's always okay to ask somebody if they need a hand. When I got to this hotel, they gave me a handicapped room, and I'd never had one before. The shower can fit 6 people. It was enormous. Actually, I'm exaggerating. It was 5 people and a little person, but that was, no. Boy, don't talk that stuff out here. I may be okay in California, but it ain't here. I missed my first plane, and when I landed in Dallas, somebody asked me, how come you're waiting here so long? And I said, well, I missed my first plane. He said, where are you from? I said, San Diego, California. He goes, oh, yeah. So he's like a bowl of cereal. So what do you mean by that, sir? He said, well, that's where all the fruits, flakes, and nuts come from. I said, well, you got me on 2 of the 3, but you're going to have to pick which 2. So, speaking of reasonable accommodations, the last little bit of trash I'm going to talk is that normally when you're speaking to a person who's deaf and they're using an interpreter, we speak directly to the person with the hearing impairment because they're actually the one that we're communicating with. So we normally don't like to give a lot of attention to the person who's signing. But when I was singing this song and I kind of glanced over and I saw him going, there's something unpredictable, there's something unpredictable, there's something unpredictable, there's something unpredictable. Give him a hand, would you? All right. I wasn't really sure what kind of songs to play here tonight, so I do want to make a quick announcement to all the ladies between 40 and maybe 55 to avoid any confusion and or disappointment. I'm not Michael Bolton. I'm sorry. But I knew I was coming out in these parts, so I decided to learn a song I thought y'all might relate to. I hate that movie. Ruined the song. Okay. Want to see my cool artist face? La 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 la. La 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 la. Now that I lost everything to you, you say you wanna start something new. You're breaking my heart, you're leaving. Baby, I'm grieving. If you wanna leave, take good care. Hope you got a lot of nice friends out there. Just remember there's a lot of bad hand, beware. Lou, baby, baby, it's a wild world, and it's hard to get by just upon a smile. Lou, baby, baby, it's a wild world, and I'll always remember you like a child. La 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 la. Baby, I love you so, you know I've seen a lot of what the world can do. Now it's breaking my heart in two, 'cause I never want to see you sad, girl. Don't be a bad girl. If you want to leave, take good care. Hope you got a lot of nice things to wear. Just remember a lot of nice things turn bad out there. Yeah, ooh, baby, baby, it's a wild world, and it's hard to get by just upon a smile. A smile never hurt nobody though, did it? Said, ooh, baby, baby, it's a wild world, and I'll always remember you like a child. You guys like that 70s music? Remember that stuff? Some guys my age, yeah. See, I like the 70s because styles always come around every 20, 30 years. So I think, like, you know, since I've noticed I'm the only guy with long hair in here, I think about 6, 7 more years I'll be cool again. But I do have an invisible disability that might give me a hard time. I'm what they call follically challenged, is the proper way to say that. So I'm not losing my hair, I'm just growing my face is what's really going on there. '70s stuff's good, but you really can't get away with a lot of it today. You know, you say stuff like, baby, I'm the CEO of your company. Don't call me baby. I'm your boss. So, right? And we're not really too into that whole, always remember you like a child. That's kind of creepy, isn't it? But we'll just get back to the chorus. Ooh, baby, baby, it's a wild world. And it's hard to get by just upon a smile. Ooh, baby, baby, it's a wild world. And I'll always remember you as a fully self-empowered woman who controls my company. Artist face. All right, thank you. Oh, man, I wore you out. Sorry, brother. So I'm going to talk a little bit to you about my life today. This thing called YouTube revived my 43-year-old rock star career. I've been raising kids. I'm a single dad. 2 of them have moved out now. I raised 2 girls and a boy. We live in kind of a pretentious neighborhood, and I got to tell you, so y'all out here have been, well, I don't mean to say y'all. I'm not trying to just, condescend or anything, but I mean, it's just easier to say. But, the folks I've met out here, what a polite group of folks I've encountered. Please give it, what a wonderful, I've never been to this area, but everybody's been really polite, real nice, and it's something I think we're missing out there in the hubbub of the West Coast. So please, can you give yourselves a hand for just being nice? I mean, I got to tell you, I was a little scared to come out of here. I'm afraid of the tornadoes, and I don't mind the earthquakes. But what I'm doing today is I'm traveling around. In the last 20 months, I've been to like 4 foreign countries, all because of this YouTube thing. And somebody filmed me playing outside at Balboa Park in San Diego, where I actually have a license to perform outside. It's kind of a street performing busking venue. We get licenses. And anyway, somebody filmed me and didn't tell me about it. And one of my kids came up and said, "Dad." I said, "What?" He goes, "Do you know you're viral?" I said, "You're going to be viral when I wash your mouth out with a bar of soap, son." He said, "No, Dad, you got a video with over 11 million views on it." And I said, "Is that good?" He goes, "Yeah." So my phone started ringing, and the first time I got a call, it was to open up for Leanne Rimes in Germany on a television show called Lipperbluff. I don't know what that means exactly, but it was kind of a cool show. Now, here in America, I drive a car. Got my license at 16. I drive with my feet. I have a regular car, and it was a good thing, because if I got my license in a modified car, all my cars would have to be modified. So anyway, so here in America, I drive with my right foot on the steering wheel. I do the gas and the brake with my foot. And I'm a very safe driver. If anybody needs to ride with me, if we ever bump into you in San Diego, you want to hang out, go to the beach, I'm a really good driver. But what's dangerous is the guy next to me on the freeway. What I really like to do is, I've been using my feet my whole life, so my natural instinct is, hey, watch the road, watch the road. Look, Eddie, he's pointing his big toe at you. What does that mean? I'll just watch the road. I take no responsibility. When I get to Germany, I think I'm going to rent a car. So I call them up, and I call the rent-a-car, we rent cars, rent-a-car place, I don't know. And I asked the lady, and she says, "But you have one arm?" I said, "I don't have any arms." She goes, "Oh, one moment," and I could hear her on her computer. "One more time, you have only one arm?" "No, I have no arms at all. I was born this way. I have a California driver's license." "You ever driven in Los Angeles, lady?" "I think I'll be all right." "Okay, one moment, thank you." "I'm very sorry, sir. In Germany, you must have at least one arm to drive a car." So that is the truthful part about the whole thing. And she actually, it made sense to me, because most of the cars in Europe are manual transmissions, and I want to tell you, I've tried that. I body surf, fought karate tournaments. That's scary, driving a manual transmission. I think I can admit defeat on that one. No pun intended. So I want to tell you all, this is my prop bag, by the way. I carry a man bag. It's actually a merce. It's not a purse. It's a man bag. This is where I keep my stuff. I want to tell you, y'all look really nice tonight. Please, you guys look absolutely fantastic. If I wasn't like a California rock star, I'd feel a little out of place. But they forgot to tell me it was a black tie event, so I brought my white tie. And so I had to borrow one from one of the waiters here. Do I look sharp, though? Do I fit in? Yeah. I want to share a little bit of California culture with you. We have a new law. You're not allowed to use one of these when you're driving your car, so which I do. But according to my kids, I'm very out of style because this phone is extremely. Look at these tiny little buttons. Can we get a shot of that, camera guy? Can you imagine trying to touch that with your big toe? Give that one a shot. Yeah. So I'm driving down the road the other day in Venice Beach, and I'm doing this. Yeah. I'm steering with my knee. Come on, I'm giving a good Yankee effort. And I feel this guy looking at me at the red light. I mean, someone's just piercing me. So I glance over and I look, and here's this guy, looks like Bob Marley. He's got dreadlocks all the way down to his waist. The smoke is bellowing out of his car. He's listening to Bob Marley. Speed it up. And he just gives me this look like, come on, man, don't do that. So when you get an attitude check or a behavior check from an individual like that, you have to maybe check yourself on your behavior. So I've stopped with the texting. But this thing has gotten in trouble. And for those of you guys got kids, older kids, 20s, teenagers, you can't call anybody anymore. People get mad when you call them. You get on you call them, hello, you called me? Then they hang up, you're supposed to send them a text. So as a single dad, I'm dating right now. And I'm dating this girl, and we had this long talk, and she shared a lot of really personal stuff, which I'd be very happy to share with you guys if we had more time. But she lives in California. I think I'd get away with it. But so after our long talk, she texts me good night, and I write back good night. Can you see the phone? Well, with these old school phones here, if you want to say O, you have to go MNO, right? If you want to say Q, you have to say PQ. So I said good night, sweetness. But what I actually typed was good night, sweet mess. Now, she had just divulged a bunch of tragedies in her life to me, and couldn't have been the worst. So I didn't hear anything from her for a couple of days. And then finally I get this big, long email. It's okay to send an email, just don't freaking call me. You can't do that. But anyway, so we had to fix it out. But I found out that there are cell phones now that you can talk into, and they would text. And I'm thinking, as a guy who was born with no arms, that might be a pretty good idea. It might be good on my relationships. So I'm going to play one or two more songs. I think they gave me 25, 35 minutes to have my way with you guys. But the raising kids thing has been interesting. As I said, we live in kind of a pretentious neighborhood in Southern California, and I'm pretty much the only single dad on our block. And growing up, we were kind of surrounded by Cleavers and Bradys, and we were more like Osbornes and Adams family in my block. And got a lot of questions from the soccer moms, especially being a single dad, like, do they all have the same mother? Somebody actually said that to me right away. Are those your kids? Yeah. Do they all have the same mom? I like to say, I don't really know. I haven't met all the mothers. I'm not exactly sure. Sometimes you just got to give people a lesson, right? Do you know what I mean? Yeah, have you ever met someone who just needs a lesson? Usually when people ask me stuff about my disability, I'm very comfortable, especially when it's kids or something. But you get all kinds of stuff like, who takes care of you? I'm like, well, I kind of take care of myself. And so basically, if you're dealing with a person, what I tell the little kids at schools is, and yes, I do speak at schools. They actually let me. I just have to be careful and not be the same artist that I am at the club. I actually walked out one day after being backstage. Everything looked exactly the same. And I got out and I just came right out on stage and said, all right, there's a couple of nuns and a gay rhino. And I looked out and here's a bunch of fifth graders. And the happy rhino said, stay in school. Artist face. Just yesterday morning, you let me know you were gone. Susie and the plans we made put an end to you. So I walked out this morning and I wrote down this song. Just can't remember who to send it to. Lord, I've seen fire and I've seen rain. Seen sunny days that I thought would never end. Seen lonely times when I could not find a friend. But I always thought that I'd see you again. So won't you look down upon me, Jesus? Gotta help me make a stand. Just gotta see me through another day. My body's aching, my time is at hand. Ain't gonna make it any other way. Oh, I've seen fire and I've seen rain. Seen sunny days that I thought would never end. Seen lonely times when I could not find a friend. But I always thought that I'd see you again. And I always thought that I'd see you again. Oh, I think you can. I was kind of. You guys have really been listening to me. Thank you so much. I was kind of prepared for somebody to shout "Play Freebird" to me, so I went ahead and learned it up. But please don't, because the song's like 12 minutes, and I'm afraid I'll lose you guys with that one. So as a young man, shortly after I started public school, I was actually the main poster child, the head poster child for the March of Dimes. And I don't know if you guys have ever heard that charity. And as I came here tonight to watch the films and listen to the folks speaking about the work that you're doing, it kind of brought it back to me. They told me by the time I was 12 that I had, by participating in telethons and fundraisers and stuff, that I had actually raised a few $1 million for this charity. And I was very happy to do it. But how I raised so much money for the March of Dimes was just by being myself and being a happy kid. And I want to let you know that it's okay to know a person with a disability that might be happy. When I get up in the morning, the first thing I don't think of is I don't have any arms. First thing I actually think of when I wake up is, where the hell am I? And what did I do last night? No. Just kidding. Actually, speaking of that, day before yesterday, I celebrated 10 years of sobriety, which doesn't fly so good out here because everybody drinks. I don't drink, but see, I really had to stop. I don't smoke pot, but everybody thinks I do because of the long hair. And I just tell people, look, I don't smoke pot because I tend to forget things when I do, like, keys, phones, limbs. Oh, man. Oh, yeah, I heard a couple of those. Yeah, well, it works. I get a lot of people to stop doing drugs that way. But I did play at a lot of rehab centers, and not just the kind where we send Johnny when he's been doing too much stuff, but I played at some physical rehab centers for people who have obtained spinal cord injuries or brain injuries. And my message to them is that, you know what, your dreams don't die with a disability, and you have to build your dreams on who you are, not what the perceived limitation is. And can we say that? Is that all right? And I think my parents were praying to God that I would pick river dancing as my hobby. I don't know if those guys that do that, That's funny. Thank you. I wasn't having it, and I think I started messing with my parents around 10 or 11. They'd be like, "Okay, Mark, what do you want for Christmas?" I'd be like, "Boxing gloves, basketball, baseball." But honestly, my dreams were not. I didn't really pay attention to the fact that I didn't have arms growing up. I felt like a regular child, and I was treated like a regular child, and I didn't even really realize that I was born with a major disability until puberty. I think it kind of set in then. But what are you guys talking about, man? That's when the football tryouts were. Come on, you guys are terrible. Whew. But. Did I make you blush? No? Okay. But honestly, so I grew up as a normal kid, and my dreams were not based on things that you would think would be easy, like I wanted to play guitar. But before I got into guitar, I was actually really into martial arts. And I went on and I fought tournaments, and I got pretty good at Okinawan Kempo. And surprisingly enough, at my current age, I actually had a chance to use my martial arts after all these years. I actually got in a fight, which is, I'm not proud of it, but I'm asking the cameraman not to get too close because I actually still have a knuckle mark on my... But this fight was really, it really could have been avoided, but I was very surprised. It was over a parking space, of course. People let handicapped people drive now. Did you know that? I just don't think that's right. But so we're getting in this little beef, and I want to just demonstrate a little bit what I did, if that's all right. And I'm really, really starting to get the best of this lady. I mean, jeez. Man, I got her on the ropes. Woo. Somehow or another, tell me if you think this is fair, she gets her artificial leg off? So kind of using it as a club? So now she's got a weapon. I'm unarmed. And, yeah, bogus. But what I really think made this whole fight the most unfair was that she probably had 65, 75 years of experience, more than I did. So I'm going to play one more song for you. How much time we got over there? I'm waiting for somebody to give me the old... You guys having a good time tonight? Is it okay? Yeah. I've really enjoyed myself. This is a song I wrote, and it's actually a big hit in Korea. It's been on the radio. Anybody ever been to Korea? I'm sticking with that then. It's a big hit in Korea. Big hit in Korea. It actually was used in the theme track of a Discovery Channel special I did called Born with No Arms. It was largely unsuccessful. I don't think people could figure out what the show was supposed to be about. But I got you on that one, didn't I? Let them did it up and do it up and do it down. Ba-ba-dum, did it down. Ba-bum, did it up and do it down now. You walk on by, hide your eyes, sympathize, but you don't know who I am, who are you, where do you come from and where do you go? And if I send an invitation to my world, would you come and stay? If I had a chance to sing my song, this is what I'd say. We are more the same than you may think. You and me, we are the same. Does anybody have to take the blame? We are the same. We're more the same than you may think. You and me, we are the same. And it's a shame to be ashamed. Don't want you to look the other way. Fumble around thinking of what to say. Wouldn't want to be anybody else, 'cause I'm okay with myself. We are more the same. You may think you and me, we are the same. And it's a shame to be ashamed. You guys like my song? Thanks. I'm quite proud of it myself, but I got it home and I played it for my kids after I wrote it one day, and my daughter goes, "Dad, I really recognize that theme." And I was like, "Oh no, have a Coke and a smile." It's almost the same exactly, you know. Or is it we are the world? We are the same, we are more the same than you may think. You and me, we are the same. Does anybody have to take the blame? We are the same, we are more the same than you may think. You and me, we are the same. It's a shame to be ashamed. All right, thank you. Appreciate it. Guys, thank you so much for having me. I had a great time. I appreciate it.
Mark Gne.